What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Polestar. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down, what's been coming out from the company itself, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Polestar is down 0.45%, $1.10 the low, $1.13 the high. It has been quite some time since I've covered Polestar, but since then, there's been a hell of a lot of fear associated to just rising inflation numbers, unemployment, and just general like tariffs. So a lot of uncertainty in the broader market. But despite all of that though, Polestar has been, I don't want to say boring, but it's actually been holding up very, very well. And honestly, for those individuals that have been in Polestar for like the last 5 years, I'm sure they aren't complaining whatsoever. I'm sure they take boring over downtrend like 10 out of 10 times. But there hasn't really been that much coming up from the company itself. So they have been investing quite a lot, obviously, in technology and so forth. But the only other thing that has come out recently was this. So they did lock in a $450 million 12-month term facility. So that should help it for at least probably until the tail end of 2025. That's if they decide to use that. And then just a little bit of a star right here. So April 10th, 2025 is the estimated, I guess, date that they're going to be putting out some of their retail sales numbers. So I think that's kind of a good thing that they're at least continuing on. And even though Polestar, like I said, price action has been rather boring, it's still is doing fairly well, I think, overall, given the circumstances. And I think just with all the fear and uncertainty in the broader market, there's a lot of other sectors and stocks that are getting the brunt of the attention. So Polestar is just flying under the radar, in my opinion. One thing I would have liked for them to participate in was the NVIDIA GTC 2025. I didn't see their name on that list, but with Polestar obviously partnering with NVIDIA, it would have been nice for them to participate in that event, but nonetheless, I think by maybe them not doing anything, they're just even further flying under the radar. Shorts aren't really even doing all that much, so it's still within that 8 to 11% range that it has been over the last year. So currently 10.4% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 39.8 million shares overall are being shorted. Right now, shorts are returning 472,000 shares. Cost of our average is 16.11%. So yeah, even in shorts' viewpoint, they're not really doing all that much. They're just waiting to see what the next big catalyst is, how Polestar 5 is going to essentially turn out, and just everything else. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Moving over to options, you do have roughly 7,000 in calls, 7,700 in puts. Polestar's always been like that though. It's always had very low volume. So even right now, 1.6 million shares being traded, 5.01 is the average. So it's always had fairly low volume and just generally low options as well. So nothing really crazy to worry about, in my opinion. Based on the call options that are being done, you do see a consensus for it to be above $2 by July. So some pretty good optimism for that. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub $1. But like I said, with low volume, take all that with a grain of salt. No institutions kind of buying Polestar, nothing on the secondary market, nothing on the dark pool. So it's just living. That's for the most part pretty much it. With it right now at $1.12, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot, so $1.08, and then $1 is going to be the support levels. Flip side, $1.16 and $1.21 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. So I think Polestar is getting dragged down slowly, but in comparison to other EVs, it's definitely faring a little bit better. So once again, let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. There hasn't been all that much in analyst ratings. So last one did come out last month. It was Cantor Fitzgerald, Andre Shepard, 42% success rating. Aside from that, it was 2 months ago and then 6 months ago. So you have $1.15, $1.40. So that's kind of the low end on polar opposites for the most part. So yeah, as a consensus, 85 cents is that price target, representing a 23.77% downside. So Polestar is definitely defying that. Latest news and articles, you see a ton of lawsuits, like all of these. And based on my experience, whenever I've seen companies going through this type of thing, it's just ambulance chasers. So they are looking to build a clientele and to kind of prompt a class action. So most likely one of these might come to fruition, but it depends on kind of the ammunition they have. Polestar might just have to pay them out, but it's nothing really to panic overly, in my opinion, about this. On the actual chart itself, so quickly going over here, it's given the, I don't know what, the lack of price action and movement that has been happening over the last couple of weeks, it's all very tight knit. So you do have right now 50-day moving average at $1.10, the 100-day moving average at $1.90. You have the 200 at roughly $5, way up here. So it's just kind of stuck in limbo between that super trend indicator, ALMA, and also that 50-day moving average. So still not really much to really bring up, in all honesty. So yeah, maybe I'll go back to continuing not to cover Polestar. Maybe that's continuing to help it fly under the radar and all the other fun jazz. But yeah, I think if you do believe in Polestar or just EVs in general, take advantage of these prices. The fact that it's actually holding up is definitely worthwhile to take note of. But yeah, what do you feel is the next big catalyst? Do you think just them being at the break even? I think they did state at the end of 2025 that's when their break even is. Profitability will be in 2027/2028. But yeah, what is your overall thoughts on Polestar? Have you been buying? Have you been selling? Have you been dabbling with options? What's your general 2 cents on all of that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Then one other thing, if you're looking for some kick-ass buy signals, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.